Evan, what did we just do?
We saw God.
We literally did see God. I just interviewed the future mayor of New York City. Zohran Mamdani is running for mayor of New York City. And he's really come out of the woodworks.
No, I would say so. I mean, I guess like any mayoral candidate in our eyes will come out of the woodwork
Because we're not paying attention.
we know superstars.
Yeah, yeah. But then we met him in person. I'm so glad you were there, Evan, because
It'd be hard to explain.
Zohran was flirting with me. The way that he like would go from like laughing and giggling to like locking in and being like, I'm going to make New York more affordable. I was like, stop.
It's very interesting, especially see someone so young, someone so passionate, someone so politically liberal and hot run for office.
Yeah.
Right? Because the thing about America is that, sure, you can have the... Okay, girl, look at me.
I'm zoning out. I'm thinking about Zohran. Well, because you said, as soon as you said hot, I was like thinking of his eyes. You were like, snap back in. I had been feeling really down lately, like really hopeless,
Right.
just like a lot of bad news in the press. And then I spoke to him and he just has this like energy about him.
Wow. And I think part of the reason we are so sexually aroused by him is because we're also politically aroused. And we're
Yeah.
completing those feelings together. You'll listen to the interview. Ultimately, I've seen Issa's interview style for a while now. You know, it's hit or miss. But this was really strong.
He was charismatic and I liked him.
No, I loved him. But we don't know what's
We're
happening
both
behind closed
in love
doors.
with him.
Right.
And so that's kind of the biggest endorsement you can get.
I like
Well,
always
to a bisexual girl and a non-binary twink.
Absolutely. It's huge.
All right. So here is the interview with Zohran Mamdani. I'm here today with Zohran Mamdani. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming on the podcast. I'm right, you're wrong. You are running for the mayor of New York City. How do you feel today?
I feel good.
You feel good?
I've been running for about 7 months.
Yes.
There's always exhaustion.
Yeah.
But more than that, there's excitement.
Yeah.
Keeps me going.
Every time I see you on my feed, I'm like, I need to get off my ass because you are hustling harder than anyone I know. And I don't know how many hours you're sleeping a night, but
Not
it's
much.
inspiring. Like, I'm not even kidding. I'm inspired. I love it. It's like the New York City, like, mentality.
Yeah.
It really is.
We deserve a mayor who hustles hard as hard as New Yorkers.
Yeah, exactly. And you still have light in your eyes,
Thank you.
which I
Thank you,
love.
Thank you.
You don't see
Not
that a
just
lot.
coming from up here.
No, it's not. This is literally not professionally
Yes.
lit. There's hope in those eyes, and we need that now more than ever.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so I usually start my podcast off with a really quick, fun question, which is, have you done anything right or wrong this week?
Have I done anything right or wrong this week? I would say I did something right today,
Yeah.
which is that I started my day with chai,
Ooh.
because that always sets me right. My chai,
Yeah.
my biscuits.
Okay.
Just to kick off the day. Sometimes you're in a rush, you leave the house, you don't have the breakfast that usually grounds you.
Yeah.
It's not a good start.
Yeah. Okay, that's good because I have a question about that with caffeine. Do you eat before caffeine or chai first?
Chai first.
Okay, on
Chai
an empty
first kinda guy.
stomach.
Empty stomach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anxiety?
I mean, I have some biscuits.
Yeah.
You know, digestives.
Okay.
McVitie's.
Okay.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Amazing. So you are running for mayor. You said there's 33 days left. I
Yes.
want to ask you a couple questions.
Hit me.
Is it wrong to serve pizza with pineapple at official city events?
I don't think it's wrong.
And that's the right answer for the Latino community, okay? Because we love pineapple on our pizza. You heard it here first, folks, okay? It's not wrong. It's actually, say it with me, right.
It's right.
Okay.
But it's not wrong.
Okay, you
Like,
know what? I'm
it's-
still endorsing you.
You know?
It's like to each their own.
Yes.
Choice.
Yes.
Pro-choice. Bring it back to
Pro-choice,
politics.
Even if that choice is pineapple.
Exactly. I love choice. I feel like a lot of people just don't realize that that means you can do whatever you
Yeah.
want.
It'll be your decision.
And my decision is to put pineapple on everything.
Go for it.
I will. Okay, kind of related.
Mm-hmm.
Is it wrong to want fresh and affordable food options where we live?
No, it is not wrong. It is right to want those things.
Yeah. What are you doing to help with that?
So we have put forward the only plan in this race to actually guarantee cheaper groceries for New Yorkers. Would be a pilot program of a municipal network of city-run grocery stores,
Okay.
one in each borough that would guarantee cheaper groceries, and it would do that based on a model we've seen be successful in Kansas, a model that was studied for the implementation of it in Chicago,
Wow.
and that would actually ensure that no New Yorker is priced out of produce, because
Okay.
that's what's happening right now with milk and eggs and bread.
Yes.
It doesn't have to happen that way anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I have been buying my milk at my local bodega without looking at the price, which is a privilege. Okay, I will admit that. The other day I asked how much it was, just for fun. $8.
Yeah.
It was $8.
Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, that's the price of one latte, so like I might as well still make my coffee at home.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, most New Yorkers still have to buy that milk.
Yeah.
But it's ridiculous. And we're seeing, as a state government, there are certain things that we believe that every New Yorker should be able to afford. Why in city government are we not applying that to food?
Yes.
Our entire plan to create this network of municipal-owned grocery stores cost $60 million. The city is already set to spend more than double that, $140 million, on a program called City Fresh, which provides subsidies to corporate supermarkets with no guarantee of cheaper groceries, no requirement that they accept SNAP or WIC, or that they actually engage in collective bargaining with their workforce.
What the heck?
Yeah. So this is saving the city money and saving you money.
I love that. I love to save money. I have a pitch. Can I pitch you
Hit it.
something? Okay. What if, does this exist? I don't know if this exists, but what if we create like a union for renters, and then you get like a resident union card, and you get discounts at your local coffee shops if you're part of the renters union?
This is a very interesting idea.
Isn't it cool?
You know, I think what has inspired me for a long time is the tenant movement and tenant unions that we have at so many apartment buildings across our city. And ultimately, I've met many, many tenants who have only been able to secure justice from their landlord thanks to the tenant union they're a part of.
Yeah. I mean, part of your movement is also endorsing like affordable housing.
Yes.
What are you doing to work towards that?
So what makes our campaign distinct is that while we believe we generally need to build more housing in New York City, we also believe the public sector has a responsibility to build immediately affordable housing.
Yeah.
And we've said that our city government over 10 years would build 200,000 permanently affordable union-built rent-stabilized homes.
Yeah.
These are homes that would be built with the median household income of New Yorkers in mind, right? $72,000 for a family of four. As opposed to when we tend to see a lot of market rate development in our neighborhoods, too many New Yorkers can't see themselves in an actual, because, you know, and I know that as somebody who represents Astoria, I call a constituent on Steinway, I say there's a new affordable housing unit coming up. They say, how much do I have to earn to apply? I say $140,000. They hang up the phone.
Yeah. That's not, it's like the amount that you have to apply to affordable housing in New York is what a rich person would have in another state.
Yeah, and that's why we need to actually build truly affordable housing while ensuring that we can build more housing across the board.
Yeah. I love that. Okay. Quick, another pitch. I think this exists in some places, but I don't know if it's something we could implement in New York.
Okay.
How do you feel about like escalating vacancy tax for like empty apartments?
I think it's an interesting idea. I've also seen cities like San Francisco implement a vacancy tax for storefronts that are vacant. And I know that's something that many New Yorkers care deeply about. Is how do we actually fill these vacant commercial storefronts that are on our cities that are depriving us of the small businesses that we love?
Yes.
And also they have an impact when it comes to public safety to just feel this greater sense of vacancy across the city.
Yeah.
And we need a thriving, bustling city. We need those small businesses as well. And I think, to your point, with this vacancy tax with regards to apartments, we also know that around 24,000 apartments today are being held off the market.
Yeah.
And it's actually a number likely far greater than that, because that's a number of what landlords self-report. So there's an incentive to not report the full scale and true scale of that warehousing. And so one of the things that we will require is more stringent requirements as to filling out that paperwork and ensuring that we know the true amount of units that are off the market.
Yeah.
And also the reason why they're off the market and what it would cost to bring them back on the market.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't understand what that means, let me break it down for you. Okay.
Here we go.
I got plenty of friends who are trying to rent apartments. Oh, you go on Street Easy, you go on Zillow, limited amount of apartments.
Yep.
But then you walk around the city and you're like, what's going on? That's empty. That's empty. That's empty. It's because they hold them off the market to increase the prices. But our guy Zohran is going to try and implement rules that make them not do that.
Yes. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first, so that when you go on Street Easy, you're not like waiting for the next listing to come up at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Which I was literally
Notifications
doing last
turned
night.
on.
Yeah. Washer dryer in building. Okay.
A dream.
A dream for New Yorkers. Do you think it's wrong not to vote?
I would prefer that people did vote.
Yes.
I also understand why many don't vote, because I think that New Yorkers and Americans in general have been let down by politicians many a time. And ultimately, we are trying to build a different kind of campaign.
Yeah.
One that speaks directly to the crisis that working class New Yorkers are facing, makes the promises that we intend to deliver on, and knows that those promises will actually transform this city into one that's affordable.
Yeah.
And we hope to inspire people to vote
Mm-hmm.
while also not lecturing them about the fact that they didn't do so in the past.
Yeah.
Because too often voting has been a choice between one option that seemingly is seeking to erase you from the face of the earth and another one that's telling you to celebrate the crumbs that can barely feed your neighbor's family.
Yeah.
We need an option that is also fighting for a future
Yeah.
for every New Yorker,
Yeah.
one that they can not only afford, but can also return back to the dream that made them a New Yorker in the first place.
Damn. You're good. Okay. Let me translate. No, just kidding. Pretty much you should vote, especially in your local elections. Like,
Yes.
I feel like I especially understand why a lot of people don't feel incentivized to vote in national elections. But I think, like, if you're feeling uninspired, if you're feeling hopeless, like, this is the campaign that right now is making me feel like I can do something. And what you can do is get out and vote in your local elections.
Yeah, and I think it's like you said, politics at a global, at a national level can often feel insurmountable.
Mm-hmm.
Here in New York City, Eric Adams became the mayor because he won an election by 7,000 votes.
Yeah.
Right? In a city of 8.5 million
I have more
people.
followers than that.
Please.
And
That's why
so
we're
do
here.
you. Well, some of them are like in other countries,
Oh.
but it's all good. They have
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, is it right to tax the rich so we can have access to affordable housing?
Completely right.
Cool, unless I'm the rich. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't worry, I'm not. I'm not just yet. As soon as I become the rich, it's not cool.
You just switch up.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, this is a fun
I didn't
one.
know you meant me.
Yeah, not me though. Not me. So you tax the rich unless it's me.
Tax the rich even if it's you, but here, let me define what rich is.
Okay.
So we have one of our two taxes that we're proposing. One of them is a top corporate tax rate, so that doesn't apply to you because you're not a corporation. But one of them is raising income taxes on the top 1% of New Yorkers.
Yeah.
That is a New Yorker who's making $1 million a year or more. So that is the amount of money we're talking about. We'd only increase those taxes by 2%, which is a $20,000 increase, basically a rounding error.
Yeah.
And just that raises $4 billion,
Yeah.
which pays for free buses 5-6 times over.
And also, by the way, like it's like if you're spending 2% more on taxes, but you're saving on milk, hello, money in your pocket. Come on. Rich people don't understand that because they have people buying their milk for them. But it's like rich people are famously cheap. So it's like you'll save money on milk.
Paying down.
Yeah.
Down payment.
I have like 2 more questions and then we'll do a quick rapid fire
Go for it.
rights and wrongs of the week. Okay. This is one that I actually genuinely am curious about. Is City Bike a monopoly?
City Bike has an exclusive right over our city partnership.
Okay.
Right? Ultimately, the city's made an agreement with them.
Yeah.
And it is an agreement that is not serving New Yorkers in that it is too expensive
Yep.
to ride that City Bike. I say that as a City Bike member.
Yeah.
I am still sometimes paying $10, $11 for a bike
Yeah.
ride when we know that City Bike is also a part of public transit.
Yes. So, rapid fire rights and wrongs of the week. This is how it works. Very quickly, you're going to say right or wrong. There is no nuance.
Okay.
Because that's how politics works these days.
No nuance.
But at the end, if you want to explain yourself, you can very
Okay,
quickly.
you can explain your vote.
Yes.
Okay,
Exactly.
here we go.
Rapid fire rights and wrongs of the week. Dogs in coffee shops.
Trying to figure out if I want to win this election or not. Personally, wrong.
Okay. Double parking in the bike lane.
Wrong.
Making out on the train.
Right for other people.
Breaking up on the train.
Wrong for other people.
Motorcycles using the bike lane.
Wrong.
Bagels for dinner.
Right.
Dating a finance bro.
You can do it.
Watching TikToks on the train with no headphones.
Wrong.
Outdoor street dining.
Right.
Hitting the ceiling with a broom if your upstairs neighbor is being loud.
I leave that to you and your broom.
Okay. Amazing. Well, Zohran, thank you so much for talking with me today. It was so wonderful. If everyone wants to get out there and vote for you, when can they do that?
They can do that on June 24th, and they can also do it during early voting, which will be the 10 days prior to that.
Amazing, Zohran Mamdani.
Thank
you so much.
Got the name right.
Yay!
everything.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Amazing.